Hey, what's up guys? Sloth King here. Today I'm going to be working on a 2006 Lexus RX330 and we are going to be replacing all the shock absorbers on it. Now what I did, I picked up the full assembly shock absorbers off of Rock Auto, so that way we just take out the old ones, put the new ones in. It's not too hard to do, it's just a little bit time consuming. So we're going to go ahead and knock that out. The shocks are still original and the car has like 170,000 miles on it or something like that. So the ride is getting pretty bouncy up front. So for the shocks, the first thing we're going to do is probably start with the front. So I'm going to get the front jacked up and we are going to take the wheels off, and then we can start digging in to getting the shocks off. So let's get right into this. All right, in order to take off the shock nuts, we're going to have to take off this cowl, which you have to take off the wiper arms, which is 3 14mm nuts right there, and then you'll see one on the other side. And then there's going to be a bunch of pop clips starting on that side and then running along the whole underside of that cowl. All right, to take off this front shock, we're going to need to disconnect a few things. First, this link right here is going to be a 17mm. If this starts spinning on you, you can put an Allen key in there to hold it while you take a wrench and take that off. We're going to need a 12mm to take out this bolt for the brake line. We're going to need to move our ABS line out of the way once this bracket is off. And then you're going to need a 22mm socket and wrench to take off these 2 bolt and nut right here. All right, now we can move that out of the way. Take that bracket off. We can just set that in there. Remember to take it off for the new shock. And while we're at it, go ahead and take a 10mm and take off this ABS bracket. That way we can have more room to move the ABS line. All right, let's take this off. Yep, looks like that is spinning. So you can just put an Allen key in there and then get a wrench on it to take it off. With the size 9 Allen key, we're going to hold that in there, get a wrench in there, and then just slowly take this nut off. All right, now that is off. Honestly, this needs to get replaced. Well, yeah, I'd probably replace that in the future, or pretty soon, next time I'm down in here or something. Put the nut on, go ahead and set that aside. Now let's take off these bolts. I'm gonna put my wrench on this side so I can get my impact on this side to take off the nut. Do the same thing for the bottom. There we go. And last thing that we need to do after we take these out, we need to go ahead and take off these 3 14mm nuts up here. And then the shock will just drop down. And then to take these out, if you go ahead and thread your nut on here a little bit and then just tap this through. You can also get a punch and put it on the end of the bolt and then just use the punch and drive it through. All right, and then now we just need to hold on to the knuckle, move it out of the way while we take out our shock. All right, now we're just gonna go ahead and install our new one. When we go ahead and put the new one in, make sure whenever we put it in, you just lightly thread on the nuts to hold on the shock up top, and then we can align the steering knuckle on the bottom. Alrighty, I got the nuts on, so that way I can go ahead and line up the shock up into the knuckle. So go ahead and do that, put it back on. I'll go ahead and list all the torque specs here in a little bit. All right, so these get torqued to 59 foot-pounds. This link will get torqued to 36. And then these two nuts will be torqued to 155 foot-pounds. And you want to torque this down with the suspension under load. So go ahead and get your floor jack under here and then just jack it up so the wheel like comes up a little bit. And then you can go ahead and torque it down. All right, after we get our link on and our brackets back on, we are completely done. And then the same procedure is done on the driver's side. So I'm gonna go do that, and then we will work on the rears, and then we'll be done. All right, so the rears are really similar to the fronts. For this link, it is going to be a 14 millimeter. We're going to have a 12 millimeter for a brake line bracket. This should give us some room to take off and move this line as well. If not, we can put a 10 on here and then move this so we have more room over here. These bolts and nuts are going to be 19 millimeters. We're going to have to take off this trim panel right here. So you can get like a trim removal tool. Just pop up the clips right here. It comes out, and then I believe those are either 12 or 14 millimeter nuts in there. So let's go ahead and start taking this off. I just saw that there is a 10 millimeter bolt right here for this line. Let's go ahead and see if this gives us enough. Oh yeah, that's plenty of wiggle room. Sweet, that'll be enough to take off the shock. The Allen key is a little bit smaller on this one. It is a, what size is this? A 5. There we go. All right, do the same thing, get these bolts out, and then you're probably gonna wanna use an extension to take out these nuts, and then just get a magnet and then just take them all out, and then we can pop this whole thing out. See right down here, just get your extension, put that in there, and then we're gonna get a magnet, put that in there and fish it out. You see how the nut just sits right up there? There we go. And what will help you out with this so the whole shock doesn't fall, just keep like a pin in there or keep one of the bolts in there, and then you can take it out easier. All right, there we go. It's out. Not too bad. And then we can go ahead and put the new one in and then get everything all lined back up and torque down. So these two bolts and nuts right here are going to be 188 foot-pounds. This link is going to be 36, and then the top nuts will be 36 foot-pounds. All right, go ahead and get your magnet and then put the nut on. And then just start it up. It'll take a couple tries to get it on there. All right, guys, got that all in. The only thing left to do is the driver's side, and then we are done. Got everything all torqued down. So yeah, after you're done with that, go ahead and finish it up and torque your wheels down to 79 foot-pounds. Alrighty, guys, so it got dark out, so I just had to finish up the driver's side rear shocks, but everything's all back on and it rides great. So hopefully this video helped you guys out and you guys have a great ride now. If it did, awesome. I'm glad. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy the new shocks and stuff on your Lexus, and I'll catch you guys on the next ride.